What we have been learning from the last 7 to 10 days? Can somebody remember? What have we been learning? What are we learning? We finished with tenses, prepositions, conjunctions, how to construct a sentence. There we saw that subject, verb, object, and some other things which come into the picture, like conjunctions, articles, and a number of things. It goes on. Later on, we discussed articles, auxiliary verbs, phrases, how to make a question, WH questions, then uh, okay, story writing. Okay, self-confidence. We discussed self-confidence, that why self-confidence is more important when it comes to English. How grammar is not important, because before we go to school, we start speaking in a language. So grammar is not required at all. We have seen some examples, the way we speak in Marathi. We don't need grammar. Since this is the last session, look at this picture, what I have said, that I want you to speak in English, or I want you to speak English, right? This is our aim, or this has been our target, that everybody has to speak in English. Today, it is not capturing. No. You can insert, reinsert. There is only one port from this side. Okay, click on the next slide. There might be some problems with the projector. If somebody can sit there. Maximize. Hmm. Our session is live. It is being streamed online. It's on YouTube. Now, tips to drastically improve your pronunciation in English. We have not discussed it so far. We will go into the details. We will see some examples or some words which are not properly pronounced in our day-to-day life. Those examples are very simple. All of us might have pronounced it at some point of time, or regularly we have been using those words. Now look at how to improve pronunciation in English. Open your ears to YouTube and podcast pronunciation. The moment I say podcast pronunciation, so there are a number of serials, there are a number of shows which are entirely in English. It is say when I say serial, maybe 25 in number, 30 in number. If you watch it regularly, right, and all those sessions are on communication skills or on spoken English, you can watch it regularly, you will get it. There are thousands of videos available on YouTube. You can watch those videos. If you watch, say, 10 minutes of video every day, I believe your English will be improved or your pronunciations will be enhanced. Next thing is listen to podcast every day. Why I say podcast? It is because the language is related to your lifestyle. Lifestyle, it is a part and parcel of life. So all the words that are related to your life, you will come across in the live podcasts. Intonation, focus on the music behind the words. So when I pronounce a word, there is a music. When I pronounce a word, there is a music. So we should experience that music. Once you go on experiencing, you will come across, the proper pronunciations of the words. Practice. Read out loud every day. So why reading loud is important? Many people say that I read newspapers, I read the Indian Express, I read the Times of India, I read the Hitwad. But the important thing is when we start reading in English, we read in mind. We do not read it loudly. The start reading loudly, what will happen? You will get the experience of that particular word. If there is a word and you do not know the pronunciation, you will hesitate or you will try to find out what is the pronunciation of it. So reading loudly helps to learn pronunciations. Whenever you come across difficulties, go to the dictionary and you will get the proper pronunciation of that word. If you read in mind, you will never go to the dictionary, you will never come across the proper pronunciation. So your vocal organ needs to be practiced. Your vocal organs need to be practiced to a certain extent. Then self-awareness, record yourself speaking. Everybody has a smartphone. You try to speak in English, you try to record your voice and listen it. Wherever where there were the problems, you can correct it. You can identify that these are my problems. Or what you can do, you record your voice, say, for 10 minutes and ask somebody to analyze what you have just said. It can be in terms of grammatical errors, it can be in terms of pronunciation, and this is how you go on correcting your English. Imitation. When you are watching a video, say there are a number of speakers in the world. Those, say, look at the motivational speakers, look at their body language, and you try to imitate how they pronounce a word, how there is the voice modulation. Sometimes they stress particular word, or there is a stress on, there is no stress on some words. So words which are more important, there is a stress. So you learn it. So imitation is nothing but what those people are doing, you are copying it as it is. So that will help you to speak in English properly, and you try to imitate, their words. If you don't know what words he or she has spoken, you will try to find out the meanings of those words, and this is how your vocabulary will be increased indirectly. So there are a number of ways of increasing vocabulary. Unless and until you use a word in day-to-day life, you will not be good in vocabulary. For example, if somebody has a dictionary and the dictionary consists of, say, 10,000 words, and you mug up all the words, will it be possible for us to speak in English? No. Unless and until you use that word in your day-to-day life, you will never remember that how or what is the meaning of that word or how that word is used. Then learn to listen. Many of us are not good in listening, so we have to be a good listener first. The moment we become a good listener, what will happen? We will try to capture what that person has been saying 100%. And in most cases, we don't listen. Before we listen, we have a question. So that listening is an art. So, and that is why I said learn to listen. When we come to pronunciations, there are some syllables, or there are some alphabets that we do not pronounce properly. Now look at the pronunciation of the alphabet L and alphabet R. Now I have given you, the picture there. That when you the behind the teeth, you just try to say L, and look at what happens, and you will come across that this image is the symbolic of it. This happens in your mouth. Say L, it touches, right? L. When you pronounce R, the tongue pulls back in the mouth without touching the top. So the tongue doesn't, touch. R, R. Look at, how air passes when you pronounce that alphabet R. So we have to be very careful. The moment it touches, what will happen? It will create a different sound. But that air has to pass from your mouth. The main difference between, say, rice and lice. Rice and lice. When I say lice, the tongue touches to the upper part. When I pronounce rice, the tongue doesn't touch. And the air your tongue to make sounds. You probably did not even notice that, since you do not do it without thinking. To improve your English pronunciation, it is a good idea your tongue is doing. The tongue plays an important role when you pronounce different words. Some difficult sounds for non-native speakers to make are the letters L and R and the sound TH. Pronouncing them correctly is all in the tongue. Now let us see how to make the L sound. Your tongue should touch the back of the top of your, just behind. Say the word light. Light. See what happens when you pronounce that word light. 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 Right? When you pronounce that word, your tongue should not touch the top of your mouth. Pull your tongue back to the middle of your mouth, near where it naturally rests. If you were not saying, as you say the sound, lips should be rounded. Try it now. Say the word right. Say I am pronouncing R because it is coming in the beginning. It comes in the beginning. We will see later when R is silent and when R is not silent. You should feel air blowing between your tongue and the top of your mouth as you speak. You should also feel your lips get a little rounder when you make that sound. Right. Look at that shape, round, or say right. Some common errors in pronunciations. Now these are the common words. Everybody knows the meanings of those words. Look at the first word, the most important, and it is not pronounced properly. Everybody pronounces it as engineer, but it is not engineer. It is engineer. It is engineer. Engineer, engineering. It is a engineering. Look at the next word. How do we pronounce it? Most of us pronounce it as determine, but it is not determine. It is determine. Ra is silent because it is coming in the middle. Determine. The next word is, we pronounce it as content, but it is not content. It is content. Concept or concept. It is concept and not a concept. The moment I say content, that content has different meaning and it is related to happiness. I am contented with this, right? And this content is different, that content is different. Concept. You say, go in the campus and you ask that I want a brochure. Nobody will understand that it is brochure because we pronounce it as brochure. It is not brochure because the spelling is brochure, and we feel that the pronunciation is brochure, but it is not brochure, it is brochure. WERE, a very common word. It's a helping verb. We have already discussed it, that it is pronounced as were and not where. It is pronounced as were. Then the word development. Develop, development, and not development. We do not pronounce it as development. It is development. Development. Next word is, it is not a genuine, it is genuine. Many people pronounce it genuine cases. I never understood what is a genuine case. When I came here, I came across something it as that there are cases, and I never understood what is a genuine. I thought this would be a different word, but when I came across a paper, a written paper, and that word was written, the spelling was same, Genuine. I thought there can be some different meanings of this word, but when I asked, I came to know that it is not a genuine, it is genuine. It is genuine. This is V2 of the verb decide, and it is not pronounced as the way we pronounce it. We pronounce it like, say, I decided it. The proper pronunciation is I decided it, not decided. It is decided. Decide, decided, decided. Now these are some of the words. There are a number of words which are not pronounced properly. So whatever words are used in day-to-day life, you can look at it. You can correct the pronunciations of these words, and it is possible. You just need to go through a dictionary, or if you have a smartphone, you can download a dictionary. You get the pronunciation of that word. Obviously, the sounds are there. Now look at how to pronounce that r syllable. Only say r when it appears before a vowel sound. Only say r when it appears before a vowel sound. Never say r when it appears before a consonant or at the end of a word. It means when it consonant or at the end of a word. So in the word fork, you don't say the r because there is a consonant. Now look at it, F-O-R-K. That K is consonant. So fork, not fork. R is silent here. In the name Charlie, you don't say the r for the same reason. Charlie, not Charlie, only Charlie. However, in the word grass, we do say the r because there is a vowel sound after it. Now look at it, grass. That a vowel sound. So grass. You will not say gas. It is grass. You will have to pronounce it. So you need to remember this, when to pronounce r and when not to pronounce r. Yesterday I told you that there are some stative verbs in English, and when we use those verbs in English, we do not add form to those words, or we do not use those words in their ing forms. In most cases, there can be some exceptions. Look at some verbs are only used in the simple tenses and are not used in continuous tenses. And those verbs fall into four categories, say like emotion, possession, sense, and thought. Look at the words related to emotion: love, hate, want, need. Now you should not use the ing forms of these words, that I am loving it, I am hating it, I am needing it. No, it is not possible. Don't use ing form. Possession: have, own, want, belong. Sense: see, hear, smell, seem. Thought: know, believe, remember. Look, some other state verbs: doubt, dislike, understand, suspect, owe, like, need, want, seem, mean, believe, forget, remember, love, see. Some other words. There are some other words. You can search those words online. You will get the long list of these stative verbs. And most of us, you might have heard when people say, I was not knowing it. The moment you say, I was not knowing it, you are even correct. It is which sense when when I add ing form to that word, because it is a state verb. Now look at some examples, and the examples are given and the correct examples are also given. I am disliked. I was preferring it. I preferred it. He was forgetting her. He forgot her. He has known him for a long time. Are you believe me? So look at and we need to this all the time. Some examples are given here. We will try to select the right word blank spaces. Look at the exercise. Present simple or present continuous. This exercise includes the verbs see, think, have. My husband, my husband always tests yes or yes, third person singular. My husband always tests the food while I am cooking. It is very annoying. Luke sees the doctor now. He has a party next weekend. This coffee, this coffee does this coffee does not taste right because not never comes alone. It requires helping verb or it requires do, does or did. As far as the tense is concerned. We, John and Mary next month. We see John and Mary next month or we will see John and Mary next month. We will see John and Mary next month or we shall see John and Mary next month. Why we are using shall is also correct. Why we are using will or shall here? It is because of this next month and that indicates that it is related to future tense. What about the war? What do you think about the war? Because it is a WH question and I said that when you frame a WH question, after a WH question there is always the helping verb or if there is no helping verb we use the proper form of do, does or did. It depends on the tense. What do you think about the war? She a headache. She has a headache. It cold today. It proper form of be. It means helping verb. It is cold today. They not have a car. Appropriate sentence. How will you construct it? They don't have a car. Now look at the word have. It is not used as helping verb. It is used as verb and it indicates possession. I have a pen. It indicates possession that you are the owner of it. I blank space anything. I cannot work on telescope. I don't see anything. I can't work on telescope. The waiter tests the wine now. She is not a doctor. She is not a doctor. A sandwich. If I want to frame a question, it will be yes or no type question. Yes, no type question. Do you want a sandwich? I fun today. I had fun today or I have fun today. I had fun today. Conditional sentences. We need conditional sentences in many cases. Look at the situations. Those situations are different. There are three types of conditionals. Say zero conditional, conditional 1, conditional 2 and conditional 3. Different types of conditionals. And we will see how to use those conditionals. I also said in one of my sessions that when people construct a conditional sentence, what happens? They use if and in the next sentence they use then. But we should avoid it. Conditional sentence type 0. Conditional type 0 is used to talk about general truths, scientific facts or things which always happen under certain conditions. Look at this. So look at the tense. Scientific facts or things. If plus simple present. in the if conditional, and in the next clause simple present, right? I said that there are two types of clauses, main clause and subordinate clause. Main clause, it is independent in its meaning. Subordinate clause, it is not independent, it depends for its meaning on the principal clause. So if you cross an international date line, the time changes. Look at the tense here, simple present in the subordinate clause and simple present in the main clause. Now the main clause is the time changes because the meaning is complete. If you cross an international date line, it is subordinate clause because the meaning is not complete. Phosphorus burns if you expose it to air, scientific truth. Now look at the position of if. We have used it in the middle, so it connects. It connects two clauses. So if it, when it comes in the beginning, there is a comma. Two clauses are separated by comma. If I wake up early, I go jogging. You can use when instead of if. Sometimes when you make it conditional, you use the word when. Then the first conditional. Now look at this, often called the real conditional because it is used for real or possible situations. These situations take place if a certain condition is met. It is possible and also very likely that the condition will be fulfilled. Real condition that it will be fulfilled, even if it is a conditional sentence. It is likely or it is going to happen. This is what we feel, and so we use first conditional. Look at the construction: if plus simple present, and in the next clause simple future. In conditional clause or in subordinate clause, if plus simple present. In main clause there is simple future. Look at the sentence: if I have enough time, I will watch the football match. Simple future, I will watch the football match. Second conditional, if plus simple past, and in the next clause would plus base verb. Look at, what can we say about second conditionals? First conditional, real condition, or it is going to happen, this is what we feel. In second conditional, often called the unreal conditional because it is used for unreal or this conditional provides an imaginary result for a given situation. It is very unlikely that the condition will be fulfilled. So in the second type, it is unlikely that the condition will be fulfilled. When we use if, it can happen or it may not happen, but the chances are that it will not happen. And look at the structure, that in conditional sentence, in the first clause if plus simple past, and the another clause would plus base verb. In conditional type 2, we usually use in the if clause where instead of was, even if the pronoun is I, he, she, or it. Was is also a possible form. The moment you use that word was, it is a possible form. So we use the word were. Now look at: if I were a millionaire, I would buy a castle. Improbable situation. It is not going to happen. The chances are very less. So you might have seen, the essay topics: if I were the prime minister, if I were the prime minister of India, I would have done this, I would have done that. Right? Improbable situation. Conditional sentences type 2 refer to an action in the present that could happen if the present situation were different. I don't really expect the situation to change because it is very unlikely. Look at the example given. If I had a lot of money, I would travel around the world. If I had a lot of money, I would travel around the world. So this was about second conditional. Then the third conditional, it is impossible that the condition will be met because it refers to the past. So look at the structure: if plus past perfect in the conditional clause, and in main clause would plus have plus past participle. You know that in perfect tenses we always use V3. Have has plus V3, had plus V3, shall have or will have plus V3. Conditional sentences type 3 refer to situations in the past. They express hypothetical results to past given situations. Look at the example. If he had been careful, he would not have had that terrible accident. If he had been careful. Look at the tense here. If he had been careful, he would not have had that terrible accident. Now we use had in past perfect. So in conditional sentence, this is, what kind of clause is this? If I had been careful, it is, which is that clause? Principal clause or subordinate clause? If he had been careful. Is the meaning complete? No, it is subordinate clause. He would not have had that terrible accident. The meaning is complete. Main clause. You need to remember this. The main clause can also be at the beginning of the sentence. In this case, don't use a comma. Phosphorus burns if you expose it to air. I will send her an invitation if I find her address. I would travel around the world if I had $1,000,000. He would not have had that terrible accident if he had been careful. The conditional, look at that word if, it connects both the clauses. Main clause and or if clause might be negative. If I don't see him this afternoon, I will phone him in the evening. Look at that word phone. It is used as verb. If he had been careful, he would not have had an accident. Got it? So this was about the conditionals. When we speak in English, we generally use conditionals because there are a number of situations which are probable, improbable, or there is the possibility, and we use it. Some more examples about conditionals. If I study, I will pass the examination. Now this is contracted form, short or contracted form. You can use it like that. If I study, I will not fail the examination. Negative. If I do not study, I will fail the examination. Different patterns. If I studied, pass the exam. Subject plus V2. Simple past. Examination. I would not fail the examination. If I had studied, I would have passed the examination. If I had studied, I would not have failed the examination. If I had not studied, I would have failed the examination. Possible. So one sentence can be written in different ways. In the beginning, I asked many people that what do you expect? And some people were asking that we should know some idioms or phrases in order to use in day-to-day life. Internet, you will get thousands of idioms and phrases. Some of the phrases, say for the sake of examples, I have brought it here. If you want more, say phrases which are used in day-to-day life or phrases which will be useful for us in day-to-day life. Now, what is the role of phrases and idioms? What is the role of phrases and idioms? What happens when we use those idioms or phrases in our communication? It designs the language, it decorates the language, it colors the language, it refines the language, it shines the language. Right? The language becomes decorative. Flowery language, we can say in simple example, in simple words. Now look at what is an idiom or say phrase. An expression, a word or phrase that has a figure conventionally understood by the native speakers. This meaning is different from the of the idiom's individual elements. In other words, idioms don't mean exactly what the words say. They have, however, hidden meaning. Hidden meaning. A implied meaning. There can be more than one meaning. You know what is a denotation and what is a connotation. What is the denotation? A word has some denotations. A word has some connotations. For example, this will be my last session. There are two possibilities here. That of this workshop, one possibility that I am going to leave the college or I am fired from the college. There are two possibilities, right? This will be the last lecture. So people may confuse. So the denotation, look at the connotation, implied meaning. The implied meaning is different. What you want to say or what you have said is entirely different from what is told. Or say you can say double meaning. You can see in some Hindi movies, there are dialogues, but those dialogues are double meaning dialogues. They have more than one meaning. And so it can be funny sometimes, it can be serious. Now depends what kind of sentence you are speaking. Look at some examples of it. Steal someone's thunder. Now people will ask how to steal someone's thunder. It is very difficult. And what it is to take the credit for something someone else did. Somebody has done it and we are taking the credit to someone's thunder. Speak of the devil. Now we have a different meaning as far as this word is concerned. Devil. The connotation is different. This expression is used when the person you have just been talking about arrives. Speak of the devil. Sit on the fence. Now how to sit on the fence? Nobody can sit on the fence. But don't think of the literal meaning. Its meaning is entirely different. Someone does not want to choose or make a decision. You are unable to make a decision. You are sitting on the fence. It means you cannot decide. You don't know what you are going to do. I am sitting on the fence. It doesn't mean that you are sitting on the fence, but you are in dilemma. What to do now? See eye to eye. It doesn't mean looking at somebody for a long time. See eye to eye. This idiom is used to say that two or more people agree on something. Piece of cake, a job, task or other activity that is easy or simple. It is a piece of cake for me, or it was a piece of cake for him. It was very simple for him. Picture paints 1,000 words. A picture cannot paint a word. Picture paints 1,000 words. A visual presentation is far more descriptive than words. Once in a blue moon, which happens very rarely. We meet once in a blue moon. It doesn't mean that we meet on a particular day. We meet very rarely. Miss the boat. This idiom is used to say that someone missed his or her chance. I missed the chance when I was in 10th standard. But what kind of chance then? Look at it. Miss the boat. Miss the boat. Make a long story short. Come to the point. Leave out details. There are some people that who want or who like to explain a lot. So you can directly say, make a long story short. Right? Let the cat out of the bag to share information that was previously concealed or something that is secret. So you can say, let the cat out of the bag. Or many times what we say, please tell me that secret. So you can directly say, let the cat out of the bag. So tell me that secret, what it is. These are some of the idioms. You can use it in day-to-day life. There are thousands of idioms in English. Very few people make use of idioms and phrases in day-to-day life. And that is where we are lacking. Why our language is not flowery, why our language is not attractive, why our language is not sophisticated. It is because of this. We don't use it. Forget about vocabulary. If you know 50 phrases or say idioms, your language can be entirely different. And that is what we need to do. Speaking English. This is what we have been learning. We will look at some situations. We will look at some situations. For example, somebody asked me in the beginning that how to greet somebody, or are there some other ways to introduce, or what are those sentences when we use when we meet somebody. Greeting. The words are very common. You can begin with hi, hello, sometimes good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. How are you? How are you doing? How do you do? These are the different greetings. You can use one of them. And not necessary that you have to use only one. Hi, how are you? Or say good afternoon, good morning. You can use variety of the greetings. There are a number of greetings. These are some of the basics. These are simple greetings, and you can use it in your day-to-day life. In order to say begin conversation. Somebody had asked that how to begin the conversation. And my answer was that you ask open-ended questions. Start the discussion about something. You start discussing maybe about the sport, maybe about the music, maybe about a movie that you recently watched. and that movie and that discussion will go on for a long time. You can do it. So there are a number of tricks that can be followed. Now, how to respond to greeting? Hi, hello, same. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am fine, thank you. Or say thanks. Okay, thank you. Can't complain, not bad. How about you and you? How do you do? It is also a greeting. And say the answer will be same. I am fine. In many cases, this is what people say. How to say goodbye? Or these there are some parting phrases. Part to leave the place. There are different expressions or phrases to say goodbye. These parting phrases depend on situations and the people involved, their social status and personal relationship. Now look at the formal language. Formal language is different from informal language. What is a formal language and what is an informal language? What is a formal language and what is an informal language? Formal language simply means where we use all etiquettes and manners. Official language or professional language. Formal language, language which we use with our friends or relatives or acquaintances. So we use some slangs or the conversation is very short at that point of time. Leaving and saying goodbye. All right, everyone, it is time to head off. It is time to head off. It simply means it is time to leave. I want to leave. Anyway, guys, I am going to make a move. Making a move. It means I want to leave. Okay, everyone, it is time to leave you. See you later, tomorrow or soon. Talk to you later, catch you later. Now look at this word, catch you later. It doesn't mean that you are going to catch somebody. It means that you are going to meet that person maybe in 10 minutes, maybe in 15 minutes, or depends. Catch you later or meet you later. Saying goodbye politely after meeting someone. Nice to see you. It has been lovely to see you. It was great to see you. Good to see you. Have a lovely or nice evening. Have a good day. These are some of the words or sentences which you can use when you want to leave. It depends. Or you can use only one. Not all the sentences. You cannot say everything when you want to leave. Introducing yourself and other people. Many times it happens that somebody is accompanied, somebody is with us, and we come across a friend. So look at how and the way we introduce our friends or our relatives. When it comes to English, it becomes very difficult for us. Introducing yourself. My name is. I am. Nice to meet you. Or I am. Pleased to meet you. I am. Let me introduce myself. I am. I would like to introduce myself. I am. And whatever your name is. And introducing others. Jack. Please meet Nicholas. Jack, have you met Nicholas? I would like you to meet Lisa. I would like to introduce you to Sam. Sheila, this is Madhubala. Madhubala, this is Sheila. Different patterns. You can introduce other people in such a way. And that communication goes on. I said that for day-to-day communication, you need hardly 100 constructions. Because most of the greetings, if you count the number of greetings and saying goodbyes, look at the number of words it is consuming. A number of things are there. And there are thousands of common topics. We can start thinking of those topics. So whenever you meet somebody in the college, for example, you are interested in come across some other points of view of that person. So that there has to be the exchange. That communication has to go on. And everybody knows that communication is a never-ending process, or it is always continuous, even if we are silent. For example, you are saying nothing, and I stay like this. My position is like this. It doesn't mean that communication is not happening. You might have seen that even if you are alone, the communication takes place. Many people say that communication is a two-way process, but it is also a one-way process, don't you think? But why it is a two-way process? Even if I am speaking to myself, it is not one-way. It is also a two-way process. I ask myself some questions, there are some answers. So consider those situations when you are alone, when you are depressed. Generally, you speak with yourself. There is a lot of self-analysis. a number of things are going on in your mind. Or you might have seen people that you are walking on the road and talking to yourself. Does it happen? Does it happen? It happens with everybody. Maybe a word. I'm not saying that you are speaking 10 sentences. Otherwise, people say you need a hospital. No, that is a different case. If you remember, I have shared this experience in the first workshop that when I was in Pune, I wanted to speak in English. So when I used to talk to people, what was happening? They were very good in English. Their English was far better than me. So there was an inferiority complex in my mind. So what I did, I started speaking with myself. So I got addicted in that sense. So wherever I was going, I used to speak with myself. So what happened one day from hostel, hostel number 5 to gate, I was walking and I wanted to go outside the college. I went on walk, discussion entirely in English. Came out of the university, there was the Square theater, and there are a number of people. Say many buses were going. Say a number of vehicles were there on the road. Some people were also did not know that some people are noticing me. One point of time near the Square, I was talking to myself that this has to be done, that has to be done, and I suddenly looked back, and a person stared at me. That what happened? What has happened with this fellow? He needs Airwood Hospital, right? And I was discouraged. I felt very bad because of the expressions of that person. And that PMT was coming, now PM, PML. I got into that bus and I went to Shivaji Nagar. I did not want to go Shivaji Nagar, but I got into the bus in order to avoid that person. I came back, I returned to university, went to canteen, and I a cup of tea. And I was thinking what that person might have thought. But one thing came into my mind, I don't know him, he doesn't know me. So there is no know my name, but still my mind was engulfed in emotions. But when I was having a cup of tea, it was an open canteen. It was open canteen. A number of people were sitting there, arranging chairs, right? So I saw a girl in one corner of that canteen. She had a mobile in her hand, and she was talking with somebody, and it was very loud. It was very loud, but thought, nobody noticed, and everybody was thinking, okay, that communication is going on. And a simple question came into my mind when I was speaking with myself. When I was speaking with myself, that person had a different facial expressions, but now she is talking so loudly, and nobody is thinking of it. What I did, I finished a cup of tea. I had a cell phone. I switched it off. I went in another corner of the canteen and I started speaking loudly. Right? I started speaking loudly and nobody noticed me and I was very happy. So whenever I used to go later on, I used to switch off my mobile and I used to talk to nobody. Hi, how are you? What is going on? I used to say the sentences and that really increased my confidence, or it did boost my confidence. But you have to be very smart. You need to switch off the mobile first and then start speaking. Otherwise, what would have happened? Somebody might have called you and you are speaking. So such things may happen. It happens. So communication always goes on. Whenever I am alone, whenever I am in problems, right? There is the self analysis, and in that self analysis, the communication takes place with us. Or at some point of times, what happens? We are unable to decide. We say one mind says, in Marathi you say एक मन म्हणते जायचे एक मन म्हणते नाही. But what is that situation? We have only one mind, not two. But it is our inability, or it is a dilemma. We don't have decision making ability. That happens, and that thought process goes on. Got it? A lot of communication takes place with yourself. Look at the communication, and in English we call it soliloquy. Soliloquy. Shakespeare is well known for it. To be or not to be. It is a soliloquy. That phrase is taken from Shakespeare's Hamlet, where there was dilemma for an action. He was thinking what to do, whether to do or not to do. That was going on for a long time, and he missed it. Right? So that can happen. So this is how you can introduce yourself and some other people. Asking for and giving permission. When do you want to get the permission? For example, right? Can I go out, please? May I open the window, please? I said that. Look at the polite sentences. If it is a question, then it is a permission. Otherwise, it doesn't become a polite sentence. Please give me a pen. I had given this example, but it is not a polite sentence. It is an imperative sentence. You are adding the word please there. Can I go out, please? May I open the window, please? Please, can I have a look at your photo album? Please, may I test that hot, spicy, cautious dish? It means testing. Do you mind if I smoke? Would you mind if I asked you something? Is it okay if I sit here? Would it be all right if I borrowed your mobile phone? Different sentences which can be used when you want to get the permission, when you are seeking a permission. And look at the words which we use when we give permission. Yes, please do. Sure, go ahead. Sure, no problem. Please feel free. And refusing, no, please don't. I am sorry, but that is not possible. I am afraid, but you cannot. So a number of phrases are there in English. A number of constructions are there in English. You need to mug up those constructions. If you are unable to remember it, mug up those and use it in your day-to-day life. And or you decide that whenever we will meet from tomorrow onwards, we will speak only in English. Now look at the difference. One difference I will tell you. You will be able to point out it. Whenever you meet, you speak, for example, 100 sentences. One person speaks 100 sentences, another person speaks 100 sentences. So there are 200 sentences. The moment you start speaking in English, that 100 sentences will come down to 25 sentences. So 25 plus 25, only 50 sentences. Am I right? So because you face some problems, you cannot say everything in English, and you need Hindi or Marathi at that point of time. So avoid it. Start speaking in English. This is another way of getting escape from some people. Right? People who are boring, those who talk a lot, they say speak only in English. If somebody wants to fight with you, if there is verbal argument, say speak in English, and that person will be unable. It is very difficult. You can switch to English. Even if somebody speaks in Marathi or Hindi, you speak in English. Look at the change. Let him or her speak in Marathi or in Hindi. You go on speaking in English. There will be a sudden change in the attitude of the another person. This is what we need to do. Whenever we meet students or students meet us, we should not switch to some other languages. Consumes our 10 minutes, that person will consume only 2 minutes or 3 minutes. That can be done if you are able to save time. Then conversation fillers. When the conversation is going on, I said, look at Tamil language, it has more than 50 alphabets. Marathi language has more than 40 alphabets. So the possibility of forming a number of words is more in Tamil and in Marathi language. And that is why Tamil people speak very fast. Look at the movies, Tamil movies, how fast they speak. It is because of the alphabets. The possibility is high, the probability is high. Right? It doesn't happen with English. And for non-native speakers, we are not native speakers of English. Native speakers who gets the competence, unconscious knowledge of the language. This word knowledge, it is not knowledge, it is knowledge. If you go to dictionary, you will find that it is pronounced as knowledge. And we don't have that knowledge. We don't have that competence of English language. We are non-native speakers. So we need some fillers. Some people take time. So you can fill those gaps. So I call it fillers, or people call it fillers. During a conversation, it is pronounced as conversation, not conversation. It is pronounced as conversation. During a conversation, silence can be embarrassing. In order to keep the conversation going, it is recommended to use conversation fillers. And these are some of the fillers. While listening, oh really? Right? Sure? How awful? Oh no. You are joking. What a pity. Auxiliary verbs to make short questions. Have you? Did you? Is it? But when you use different sentences, the facial expressions must be like that. Otherwise, there will be contrast in what is being said and what is being reflected. There should not be a contrast between the content and your facial expressions. Facial expressions must match with the words being spoken. Then people will feel that it is truth, or whatever is he has been saying is fact. While speaking, well, okay, so let me think. I mean, I guess, or I think, like, or some people use only one filler. How do you do it? You know, and they go on using and people are irritated by that. you know in order, it becomes monotonous. Some people are habitual of using actually. In 1 hour they pronounce that word maybe 30 times actually per minute, sometimes 60 times. You can use some different fillers for this. If you use actually once, use next time, use another word, I mean, let me think, or the list may go on. So you need variety of conversational fillers in order to avoid the monotony or the monotonous tone. So when the communication is going on, we come across that voice modulation. You cannot be same, your voice cannot be same. Sometimes rising and falling tone, the tone has to be rising and falling. It should go on. If it is in one level, what will happen? It will be monotonous, right? Because there is no stress pattern in it, and people will never understand where you want to stress. Anyway, well, what I mean is that, back to our topic, as I was saying, the basic idea is kind of, these are some of the conversational fillers. Three things which are most important for learning in English. First thing you need is confidence. Second, you need to practice it. Third, you need to listen. You do this, you will be able to speak in English. You will be able to speak in English. Any question? Any question? If there is a question, there will be answer. If there are no questions, there are no answers. You must have a question, and I will have an answer. Any question related to spoken English, whatever we have discussed? I said in the beginning that this was a short time. Everything cannot be covered. So I touched some points, superficial way, right? I could not go into the details. I just wanted to throw light on, or I just wanted to highlight some of the aspects of English language, the most important aspects of English language. And this is what we have done. His question is that we need, first is a statement, he needs some basic references to learn English. I think this is the world of technology. Everything is available on YouTube. There are a number of grammar books I can tell you, or I will ask you to purchase it, but don't purchase. A number of videos are available on YouTube. You listen to those videos and start imitation. You go through a video of 10 minutes and you start saying like that. Or maybe in front of mirror, you come across your body language. When you are in front of mirror, the focus is on yours. You will understand how are your facial expressions, how are your gestures, where are my hands. Sometimes my hands are not my hands. When we start speaking with people, it happens with many people. Those are my hands, and I must control those hands. Am I right? So you should laugh at some point of time. There has to be a smile on your face. You cannot be serious all the time when you speak with people, and then people would like it. Otherwise, what will happen? If you are very nervous and you are talking with some other people, the mood of that person will also change. The communication happens when the mood is good, when all are happy. The communication can take place in a better way or in a better fashion, right? Any other? There are a number of exercises available on the internet. You just fill it up, you get the answers also with the explanation. Anybody who wants to say something, because this is the concluding session. I want the remarks of 2 3 people, and we will. You want to speak? Yeah, very good. I want that people should speak something, so that I will also feel that there is an output. You can come in the middle. Oh, no problem. Sure, if it is arranged. Thank you. Yeah. I said, or I have always been saying, that it needs at least, because we are teachers, 1 month at least, regularly. You can sit, you can stand in the middle.
But when I regularly observe the YouTube videos from English, actually I am thinking in English and also eating. And for dinner time, I am thinking in English. I had in
Thank you. Next. Next. Ask them to circulate.
Hello, good evening. This is as already sir has told, might be a last, what we say, time. In that last, I would like to say, all of us are enjoying this workshop as we are throughout busy from our schedule, but we have taken a time of sir, and he took a lot of efforts. Especially, I am always confused where to use auxiliary verbs and prepositions. At up to some level, I can solve it, but after that mark, I get confused. Through this workshop, I am able to clear that level, and I hope that I can use it. And I am very thankful to our sir to guide us very well. And as already Asavarimis has said that if he is getting some time, and all our staff is thinking that it may be possible in the month of February, not February, March and April, We all are ready if you guide us for this continuously, not for 10 days, not for 15 days. We are interesting. If you guide us, it may be useful in our future also. Thank you very much.
Okay, next, next. Anybody who wants to share? Anybody who wants to share? That is what communication skill is. There has to be that confidence. Next. Anybody who would like to put some remarks, maybe in 5 sentences, 10 sentences? Anything that comes in your mind? Because we have been doing it for the sake of, say, boosting confidence. And it will also be helpful for me that at least you started saying something. There are always some positives and you need to think of it. Next. If you go there and speak, it will be good for the sake of recording. Okay, no problem. You can speak.
First of all, I would like to thank you, sir, for your knowledge sharing workshop. And again, all the sessions of workshop were really interesting and interactive. We learned a lot. And on behalf of all faculties who are present here, I ensure you, sir, we will use English in our classroom. And thank you. And one more thing, hope so we will meet again. Thank you.
Good. Next. Who would like to share some views? This is all about sharing. Anybody who is interested? Otherwise, you don't know when you are going to share your views here. You want to share? Okay, no problem.
Hello everyone. I was unfortunate to attend this workshop for a few days, but I'll take the notes from Bhagat sir, whatever he has taught in the workshop, and I feel in the days to come we'll use English language in our classroom as well as in our daily conversation. So this is definitely going to help us all, and whatever efforts being taken by Bhagat sir, they will always be happy to know that our staff is going to going to use English in their classroom. And at last, I would only say that these efforts taken by our college and Bhagat sir are really very nice, and we'll use English in our class and daily.
Thank you. So this is not, teaching. I have already said this is a kind of sharing where I learn something from the people and people learn something from me. Because nobody is perfect in the world, right? I learn a number of things from students because there are certain things that we do not know, but students know it. So it is all about sharing. It is all about learning. We learn, people learn, and that learning has to go on. So for that purpose, coming together is important. If we don't come together, there won't be learning. And when people of the same stature or status come together, there is always lot of learning. That learning has to take place, and there is always the scope for improvement. And I always think that how presentation can be, made better than this. And it was possible for me. I could have shared this better than this, but it requires, proper time. Your mindset has to be like that, specific time period for that. You need to work hard in order to prepare a presentation and deliver it in front of the teachers, because your background and my background is same, where everybody knows something. And I have already been saying that language is only a medium of expression. And look at English language as a skill. You must be, say, you should not be only bilingual, multilingual. You should know more than 2 3 languages. And learning is always good. It helps at some point of time in life, or it helps all the time. When you learn a language, the window is open for you. You can read the literature in that language. You read some books which are written in that language. The window of knowledge is open for you, and language helps in that aspect. So even if there are translated books, but I said that 100% translation is not possible in any case. We can go ahead with this. Next, anybody who would like to share views? Anybody who would like to share his or her views? Bunde sir? I expect that everybody has to say at least 2 3 sentences. Only expectation, not a compulsion. Of course, I, I don't mind wherever you are.
Hello, everybody. I think we all are seeing the output of this session, what Professor Bhagat has conducted. Because on the day one, I noticed that Professor Bhagat asked to come out and speak, but few of us were ready. And now today, many of us are coming and speaking out. So this is what, but as we know that nothing suddenly happens, the change is an gradual. As he has said that it is an LSRW process: listen, speak, read and write. So Professor Bhagat has done with this session, but still now it's up to us that how to continue after this session. Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you. We need to continue our efforts, whether we are here or not. Wherever we go, we can go ahead with it. I told you, I shared some of the ways which will help to speak in English. I did not teach anybody to speak in English. I shared only the ways that you can do this, you can do that. And it is based on my personal experience. I have gone through that phase, and everybody has to go through that, because it is a scientific way of learning, and there is no other way. And it is not available. You cannot ask a publisher that you take 1,000 rupees and give me some tips how to speak in English, or you make me to speak in English. Not possible. Not possible in any case. Next, anybody who would like to share a few views, some views? Anybody who would like to share his or her thoughts? Otherwise, then we will conclude our workshop. I have given a feedback form. Name is not required. You just have to tick yes or no, and you can put your suggestions where there is a space. Some blank lines are given. You put your suggestions there. It is always good for the improvement of what we are doing here. We will make it more interactive. It could have been made. So any problem or anything that you want to ask me, any suggestion that you would like to offer? So thanks for coming to this workshop every day, regularly at 3 o'clock. Thanks for the cooperation. We'll meet again in future. This was a testing session. It will not be available on YouTube for a long time. For higher authorities. This is only testing session. There is an alumni meet in our college. We have to live stream that event. In order to live stream, we have to demonstrate. We have to do it, whether it is possible or not, what are the problems that we face. So no problem. If you are afraid of it, so keep it somewhere or throw that view somewhere else. So anybody who would like to share something, so don't worry about live streaming. Hmm. Anybody who would like to put the views? Last person. Thank you then. Thank you. Yeah. For